Welcome. In this Ignitia tutorial, you'll see how to set the global user permissions which determine what your Ignitia users can and cannot do within the program. Please note, you must have administrative access in order to set and adjust default permissions. Let's start by clicking the School Settings tab from the navigation bar and then the Permissions sub-tab. This page works much like a circuit breaker box. Just as the breakers must be turned on to enable the power in different parts of your home, permissions must be turned on here to give your users the power to do certain things on your site. If a box is checked here, then the feature is switched on and available for the users on your site. In most cases, these permissions can then be turned off at the individual user level if needed. Some of these permissions will already be activated, but you can choose to deactivate them if needed by simply unchecking the box next to the title of the permission. The same goes for if a permission is not already turned on. You can easily turn on a desired permission by simply checking the box next to the title of the permission. One other thing to be aware of is that the descriptions for the permissions are listed in the right column. This may be helpful to you as you are deciding on permissions to include for your users. Let's discuss the permissions so you know what they do. Global permissions will apply to all superteacher, teacher, and student users. Allow messaging enables the messaging system inside of Ignitia, which allows teachers to message students, admins, and other teachers. It also allows students to message their teachers. It does not, however, allow students to message other students. Notice that you can turn this permission off on a user-by-user basis. Allow Student Notes enables the feature which allows teachers and students to add electronic notes to their Ignitia assignments. These notes are then viewable and printable by both teacher and student. This permission can also be turned off on a user-by-user basis. When the grading permission blank essay notification is checked, teachers will receive a notification when students submit an assignment but leave any essay questions blank within the assignment. Now let's look at the teacher and student permissions. As we do so, bear in mind that some of these permissions may not be appropriate for all users, but may very well be useful for some, a few, or even just one. This is where you should think back to the circuit breaker analogy. If you can see value in any of these permissions, even if only for one user, you must activate them here. You can then turn them off on a user-by-user basis as needed. This can be done by unchecking the box next to the permission when you are editing the settings of a specific user. Remember that any feature that is turned off from the school settings will be disabled for all users on your site. Under Teacher Permissions, you can allow teachers to change their own password by checking the box. If a teacher forgets his or her password, though, the admin will need to reset it. If Change Grading, Pacing, and Assessments is turned on, then admins, superteachers, and teachers will be able to adjust the pass threshold, the number of attempts on assignments, and assignment weighting at the individual student and course enrollment level. Skip Questions allows teachers to skip unneeded or unwanted questions in student assignments. Manage Groups will allow teachers to create, edit, and delete groups of students. Groups can be used for batch enrollment and reporting purposes. Next, we'll look at the student permissions. Again, if a permission will be useful to even one student, you will need to activate it here. You will then be able to deactivate it for those students who do not need it or should not have it. Student Review Test Quiz allows students to see the results of their graded assessments. This means they will be able to see what they got right and what they got wrong on each assessment. It does not, however, give them the correct answers for the items that they missed. Student Answer Key is just what it sounds like. It provides the full answer key for any assignment type, regardless of whether the pass threshold has been met but only after the student completes all the allowed attempts on the assignment. If Enable Grading View is turned on, when students work on a reassigned lesson, quiz, or test, the answers from their previous attempts will be marked as correct, incorrect, or partially correct. This will help students see where they need to focus their attention on their next attempt. It does not provide the answer key for incorrect responses. When Randomize Questions is turned on, assignment questions in lessons, quizzes, and tests will appear in a different order each time it is reassigned. The Change Passwords permission works the same for students as it does for teachers. If a student forgets his or her password, an admin or a teacher with permission to edit student profiles will be able to reset it. If Overdue notification is selected, assignments that have not been completed by the assigned due date are marked as overdue on the student's assignments page. The last permission on this page refers to Writer, which is a writing process tool that provides some automatic feedback on student writing assignments. You can learn more about Writer, what it does, and how it functions in our full Writer tutorial from the Ignitia support page at aopschools.com. But here's where you can turn on the two separate features of the Writer tool at the global level. Spelling and Grammar initiates a spell check and grammar check in assignment answers requiring student writing and manual grading. If scoring is turned on, students will be able to utilize the Writer tool to analyze their writing and see some scoring feedback that may be helpful for revision. Scoring within Writer, though, should not be confused with the overall scoring the teacher will do on the assignment. Writer is offered to be used as a guide only. When you have set all the desired permissions, be sure to click the Save button at the bottom of the screen. You will then see a blue Settings Saved message at the top of the page. Here is one more detail that is important to know. When you turn on any permission and save it, it goes into effect for all current and future users for which this setting applies. That means if you turn on a permission midway through the school year, it will be turned on for everyone. You would then need to manually remove this permission from anyone that should not have it. You will do this through the Students tab by locating the specific student and editing their settings. If you have further questions or would like more information, please contact technical support at 800-735-4193 and select option 1. Thank you for viewing this Ignitia tutorial.